Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's class. And today we are going to talk about what we'll be making reference to introduction to strategic management. And this is a very interesting, and this is the longest section of the syllabus about strategic management. And this is a very important section. So please pay attention to me very well, as you always do. So now, starting with what? Before we start talking about what, we say what? Introduction to strategic management. Before we start talking about strategy is built on what? Something. Before we start talking about strategy, and please have it at the back of your mind, that in strategic management, one of the key things, one of the key requirements you need to have what? You need to have strategy is for you to what? It's for you to win. It's for you to gain a competitive advantage over your competitors. It's for you to be the best company. That's the reason why you need to have a strategy. If the military now, if they are going for a war, they will say they want to have a strategy. The main reason of having a strategy now is for you to conquer your enemy. It's for you to win. So now in business, now when you have a strategy is for you to win. It's for you to gain a competitive advantage. It's for you to be the best company. But before we now started talking about what strategy is built on something. And you build what? You build strategy based on what? You build strategy on mission statement, on your vision, your goals and objectives. Because the main reason why you need to have a strategy is for you to be able to achieve your mission statement. It's for you to be able to achieve your vision. It's for you to be able to achieve your whatever your goals and objectives are. So in order for me to be able to achieve what is my mission statement, for me to achieve my vision, my goals and objectives, I need to have I need to have a strategy. So strategy is built on what? Strategy is built on this concept. Starting with the first one now, which is what we call mission. When we say a mission now, a mission statement is the reason for existence of that organization. Why are you in existence? What do you want to do? What is the purpose of that organization? The purpose of establishing that organization is what we call mission statement. Your mission statement is the reason for existence. Oh, if I have if I have a company now, I want to establish a company now in Yanda Limited. Before I start talking about strategy, the first thing I have to get right is that what is my mission? Why would I say that I want to establish a company of these sorts of things? Why? What is the purpose? So the purpose of existence, the reason why you establish that organization is what we call mission statement. Please don't forget that. And that's the first thing that every business organization has to determine before we start talking about strategy. You have to know what is your mission statement? What do you mean to do? What is the reason for existence of this organization? What do you want to sell? Which type of service do you want to render? So you have to get the mission right. And it is now when you have a mission now, then you can now start talking about your vision, and which we'll also be talking about in as we are moving on. Please don't forget the first thing is what is a mission statement. When we say mission statement means what? The reason for existence of that organization. Why are you in existence? What do you want to do? That is your mission. So a mission statement should be strengthening. Should be memorable. It should be enduring. Memorable in terms of it's something that we should be able to memorize. That is to be something that is very, very short. These are like characteristics of a mission now. Enduring. In terms of enduring, that your mission statement should be for a long period of time. We don't expect a business organization to be changing their mission. Oh, the mission that you have this year, it will be different from the one that you have next year. No, the mission statement is not something that you change. So it has to be it has to be enduring. And another one is that what? A guide for what? For employee to work towards the accomplishment of the word of the mission. It will guide the employee. It is not only the employee, it will guide the word, the stakeholder as a whole. So that everybody now we are going to be working towards what? Towards achieving the word, the mission statement. The reason why we want to establish that organization. Once it is known, everybody know it. Oh, in this organization, our mission is this. So it will guide all the stakeholders. So that we're able to work together, so that we're able to what? We're able to achieve it. So it is not only what? A guide for employees, it's a guide for stakeholders as a whole. And that's why I have it in the next one. Say it's addressed to a numbers of stakeholders. End of the word, the shareholders, the employee, and the customer as well. So please don't forget, something that I'm talking about in this few minutes is what we call what? A mission statement. A mission statement, what's the meaning of a mission? A mission statement means what? The reason for existence of that organization. Why are you in business? Which type of goods do you want to sell? Which type of service do you want to render? So if I'm saying, oh, I'm rendering what? Service relating to what? To educational sector. That's my mission statement. That's the purpose of establishing that organization. And look at this. This is a mission statement of what? Of Nike. And I really like it so much. This is a mission statement of what? Of Nike. And Nike view what? It view every customer as an athlete. And this is their mission statement. They say to bring what? Inspiration and what? Innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you are what? An athlete. So Nike see all what? All their awards. You see everybody as a what? As a customer. If view what? Every customer. That means that if you are buying a what? A Nike product now, Nike see you as a what? As an athlete. And their mission is not saying to what? To bring inspiration and what? Innovation. To bring what? Inspiration and what? Innovation to every what? To every athlete in the world. In terms of what? Maybe the shoe that we will be bringing up, some of our what? The goods that we'll be selling, some of the service. It's going to bring you what? Innovation and what? It will inspire you. That is their mission statement. That's the purpose of establishing Nike. So Peter what now? Peter Drucker. Now tell us that what? Every mission statement need to address what? Need to address 5 words. Need to address 4 questions. That is, every mission statement need to give answer to these 4 fundamental questions. This is a 4 fundamental question of the mission statement that was developed by what? Peter Drucker. They said that what is our what? What is our business? Your mission statement should be able to give answer to that. What is our business? What are we doing? Which type of goods are we selling? Which type of service are we what? Are we rendering? So a mission statement should do what? A mission statement should give answer to that. Like, oh, this is our business. This is what we are selling. This is what we are. This is a service that we are rendering to you. That's the fundamental question of the mission statement. What is our what? What is our business? Another question, which is a fundamental question of a mission statement, is that what is value by the customer? What is the value by our customer? Our customer is going to value a what? A service or what? Innovation. A product that will bring what? Inspiration. Our customer would like that. What do we think that our customer value? Your mission statement should be able to give answer to that. What do you think that your customers see as a very important stuff to them? Then your mission statement should also give answer to it. Then another fundamental question of a mission statement is that what should our business be? You know, there's a difference between what is our business? No, they're almost related. What is our what? What is our business? Then what should our business? Should our business be? What should our what? What should our business be? Oh, if I'm selling goods or I'm renting a service now, okay, that is my business. But I need to ask myself literally that in this particular environment, what should our business be? You know, there are different questions now, but they are somewhat related in terms of what is our business, is different from what? What should our business be? What should it be? If it is not this one, what about the alternative? What can we still do? Then the fourth question of the mission statement is the fourth fundamental question is what will our business be? What will our business be? These are what? These are fundamental questions of the word of a mission statement. According to what to Peter Drucker, it tells us that what a mission statement should be able to give what? Should be able to give answer to this fundamental question. What is our business? What is valued by the world, by the customer? What should our business be? And what will our business be? These are the four fundamental questions of the word of a mission statement. And another thing that we also need to talk about briefly, and please, let me say, I want you to please get this right very well. Because strategy, everything that we'll be talking about today is the building block of a word of a strategy. Where we are going is what is strategy. But before we get to strategy, strategy is built on this. And you are, as a business organization, you have to get this right. Before you start talking about strategy, these are the first elementary stuff that we need to talk about. Then another thing that let's talk about briefly is what is the lifespan. I make mention of something earlier that one of the characteristics of a mission is that it should be enduring. In terms of mission statement is not something that every year we are going to change. The mission statement that you have this year to be different from what you are going to have next year. No, mission statement is not like that. So there's no set of rule on how long the mission statement will be appropriate for an organization. There's no a standing rule. There's no accounting standard now or a regulation that will tell you that your mission statement have to use a 10 years. No, there's no a guiding principle about how long your mission statement should be. But your mission statement needs to be it should be reviewed periodically to ensure that it reflects the organization environment. That is, if we establish a mission statement in 2000, then every year we are in we are in 2021 now. We need to check you need to continue to check it that mission statement that you developed in 2000, does it still fit the current environment? Because as a business organization, one of the first things that you have to do very well after you know this is about environment. Even before we start talking about strategy in more detail, we need to do what we call environmental analysis. After we finish this, the next thing we should be able to talk about is environmental analysis before you now be talking about strategy. Because once you develop all these your mission statements that are very interesting, if it is not in a good environment, your mission will fail. Your strategy will not work. Whether a business is going to be successful or is not going to be successful, your business environment has something to say about it. And that's where when you develop the business plan, we need to ask you that where is the location of that business? Because it have a very a significant impact on that your business, on that business plan that you are trying to develop. Which environment is it going to be? So if the market or the key stakeholders have changed since the mission statement was written, then it is no longer appropriate. Yeah. It is no longer appropriate. And that's why you need to continue to review your mission statement. Is it still in line with the current business environment? Even your strategy as a whole, you need to review it. Everything as human being that we are doing, we need to do we need to do review. At least if I'm taking this class now, then I should be able to do I should be able to ask every one of us that, do you understand? Or provide a feedback about the class. So once you develop the mission statement, you don't just the mission statement that you established 20 years ago, and you did not even check it. No, it doesn't. It shouldn't be like that. You have to keep on checking whether it's still what, whether it's still in line with the what, with the current environment, whether the stakeholders that you develop it, whether it's everything is still okay. A change in the mission statement may result in a what, a new performance measure being what, established to monitor the what, the achievement of the what, of the new mission statement. In terms of what, if there's a changes in what, for every mission now, there's a what, there's a KPI, there's a key performance indicators that we are going to use to check it, whether we are what, we are meeting that. Oh, let's say for example, now my mission statement is to leave what, leave, I would already say it now. They want to leave what, 1 million Nigerian out of what, out of poverty. Okay, let's say that's your mission statement. That's the reason why you established this organization. Oh, to leave what, 1 million people out of what, out of poverty. Okay, so that's your mission. That's what you want to achieve, right? Then there has to be a what, a KPI to it. There has to be a performance measure. Okay, if you say okay, as at this so day, your target is what, is 1 million people, right? Then how many have you able to achieve? So if there's a change in now, apart from 1 million, I'm not thinking of what, 2 million now, then the performance indicator that we use for what, for the 1 million, it will be different from what, my mission statement is now what, is not changing now. So if your mission statement is changing, then you have to have a new performance measure that you use to what, you use to measure your performance as well. So please don't forget that there's no what, there's no a lifespan. Doesn't have there's no standing rule that will say that, oh, your mission statement should use 10 years, should use no. There's nothing like that. So please don't forget that. Let me come back again. When we say mission statement, the mission statement is the reason for existence of that organization. Why are you in business? What do you want to do? That's your mission statement. And there's no what, we also talk about the lifespan. There's no standing rule to say that, oh, this organization, your mission statement should use 10 years. No, but what you need to do is that keep on what, checking it, whether it still reflects the current environment. Then a mission statement should include the following elements. These are elements of what, of a mission statement. So please don't forget this. This has been tested before. Element of a what? Element of a mission statement. Element of a what? Of a mission statement. And that was in November 2014, I can remember. November 2014, the examiner asked you to explain what? 5 elements of a mission statement. So if you check what November 2014, everything that I have here, it is from the word, it is from the Pathfinder. I just copied and pasted it. So please don't forget this. These are what? These are elements of the word of the mission statement. These are some of the things that your mission statement should be able to say. One of the 2 things or the other about. 1, customer. The organization believed that its product could satisfy the need of this of its customer. And that's why you can see in in 4 fundamental questions by Drucker. Look at this. What is valued by our By our customer? Is a word, is an element of a mission statement. The organization believed that its product could satisfy the need of of his customer. That is whatever I'm doing. The goods I'm selling, I believe that, if you consume it, then you should be able to derive the maximum utility from it. The service that I'm rendering to you, I should be able to believe that how there's a maximum satisfaction that you're going to derive from using my service. And your product as well. The organization believed that its product will be of high quality to meet the taste of the taste of the customer. And every organization will have this belief. I don't think there's be any organization that will believe that its products will not be high quality. But even we customers, we can know product that have high quality than the one that is not of good or high quality. But every organization should also have it should be a good It should be a good ethical business. That oh, via what? If you are saying your adverts now, if you consume this particular product or if you use this particular item now, it's going to last for this social period, then that should be your work. If I buy a battery from your organization now, the battery, oh yeah, you advertise that it is what? It is 4 hours. But I use it, you know, it's not, it should be able to be what? It should be able to be 4 hours as well. Product. The organization believe that its product will be of what? High quality to meet the what? The taste of its what? Customer. And another one is what? Market. That's another element of the word of the mission statement. Market. The organization believe that it will meet the needs of the market better than its competitors. Yeah. And that's why you need to have a strategy. Because you don't just say this through the word of what? Through the word of mouth. Market. That the organization will believe that, oh, my product, it will meet the word, it will meet the need of the market better than any other organization, better than my competitors. My competitors as well is another element of the word of the mission statement. The organization believe that it will be a what? A key player in the what? In the industry and the worldwide competitors in the what? In the business. Competitors. The organization believe that I will be a key player in that industry. If they are talking about the what? The banking sector in what? In Nigeria, I should be able to be the what? The best bank in Nigeria. They are talking about what company in the consumer sector. I should be able to be the what? The best company in the consumer sector. That is, the organization believe that it will be a what? Key player in the industry. Or if, let's say, for example, now I'm talking about what? Let's say natural goods now, like the cement. At least I'll be talking about Dangote now. I'll be talking about Bua. So that's the what? That's the organization what believe that, oh no, I'll be the what? I'll be the key player in the industry. Then another one is what? Another one is technology. Technology. The organization believes that the technology to be used in the production will provide a product or a service that is cost effective and quality for what? Quality competitive. The technology that I'm going to use, it will be up to date. If there's a changes in what in software, there's a new application, I'll be using it. It's not that I'll be the one that will see it. At least there are what now? There's a lot of changes in what in technology. Let's say in audit now. At least there's a lot of changes in tech, like on Internet of Things. Like you have what we call the blockchain. Those are what? Those are technology development. So organizations should also believe that, oh, whenever there's a changes in technology, I will also react to it. I will also change with it. How the product or the service that I'm rendering, it will be of what? To be of good quality, of using a good technology. Then one of the elements of your mission is the word concern for survival. Concern for survival. Concern for your employee. Concern for your shareholders. Concern for your public image. Concern for survival. In this respect, the company will conduct its operation prudently and profitable to ensure that it is survival and growth. Concern for survival in terms of how do you want to survive? Or is it a company that within the 5 years it will liquidate? And what do you think that you do for it to survive? Concern for survival. Your philosophy that the organization will operate its business ethically and with high moral value to achieve a public image. Your philosophy is what is your operating style? Are you the one that believe in what? Just to get the profit? You don't care about the world, you don't care about the environment. What is your philosophy? Because there are some theory that is saying that, oh, organization don't do CSR. Are you the one that you're also in line with that theory that is saying what? Organization don't do a CSR? Because that's your philosophy. So a company that is engaging in what? In the corporate social responsibility now, do we want to compare with the one that is not doing it? That's your philosophy. If you do it, nobody will watch. At least, let's say, for example, now during the pandemic, we have some organizations that donate to what? The federal government, and some did not do. That's your philosophy. If you didn't do it, these are all these things, they are what? They are voluntary in nature. If you didn't do it, nobody will sue you. But if you do it, it's a what? It's a good, it will have a good image to your organization. So please, these are the words. You can have a look at it. We have concern for employee as well. We have to treat them fairly. There should always be a what? A dignity for what? A dignity for labor. Treat them fairly. Don't say because you are the one that is paying them, or we are talking to the management of the organization in this aspect. Concern for your employee as well. Because who developed the mission statement are the what? Is the top management that will do that. So have a concern for your employee as well. Have a concern for your shareholders. Take care of them. What about your public image? Try as much as possible to what? To reduce your what? Reputation risks. Don't do anything that will affect the what? Your image with the what? With the public. So please don't forget this 10, at least what the examiner was asking in that diet was what? Was 5. And it's also for 20 marks. We check November 2014. What are the elements of the word of the mission statement? Please don't forget that. Okay, I think characteristics of a mission statement, it should be brief. In terms of a word, a mission statement is not something that is long, like a 2-page or 3-page. No. The mission statement is very, very what? It's very, very brief. And you can see the mission statement of Nike now. Where is it? You can see it is very what? Look at their mission statement. It is very brief. It's not a word. Mission statement is not something that is very long. No. The mission statement should be what? It should be brief. And that's why we say it is what? It should be something memorable. This thing should be a thing that you should be able to do what? You should be able to memorize. It should be general. General in terms of what? Your mission statement should cover the whole of the organization. You don't say that, this particular branch now, it's in Abeokuta. This one is in what? Is in Bayelsa. That, the mission statement for the one in Bayelsa, it will be different from the one in Abeokuta. Oh, no. The mission statement should be what? Should be general. Whether you have a branch in Bayelsa, you have the one in Abeokuta, their mission statement should be what? Should be the same, irrespective of their geographical location. So it should be what? General. Statement of what? Statement of purpose is another characteristic of your mission statement. The statement of purpose in terms of what? Your mission statement should be able to tell us the reason why you are in existence, the purpose of establishing that organization. Then another one is what? It should be a powerful force for change. A powerful force for change. And we'll also be talking about what? Change management under the strategic management as well. We're talking about change management. Change happen in organization. And that's why I think I mentioned earlier that what should be the lifespan of a mission statement. There's no standing rule that your mission statement should be this also. No. We don't have that. But what? Your mission statement has to be a statement of purpose, a powerful force for change. At least even though you are the employee that you don't like it, or you are the stakeholders that don't like it, but once the mission statement is communicated to you, it should be able to influence you to change your view. It should be clarified. Mission statement should be clarified. It should not be ambiguous. It should clarify the purpose of that organization, and it should be able to communicate it with all stakeholders. It's not only to your employee that will know your mission statement. All stakeholders should be able to watch, know, in this organization, this is their mission statement, this is their mission, and the rest like that. Now, what is now the relevance? This is a very interesting and a very long aspect, so please just play along with me. And if there's any area, let me just know in the comment section. What is the relevant? What is the purpose? What is the attribute? What is the important? Or sometimes we call it the advantage of a mission statement. That is why will you develop a word? Why do you develop a mission statement? These are the benefits of having a mission statement. One, to provide a basis for consistent strategic planning decision. That is the basics. I've not been talking about strategy now. But the basis of strategic planning is your mission statement. If I want to develop a strategy now, the building block to develop a strategy is it's starting from your mission statement. So it provides a basis for for consistent strategic planning decision. It established the goals and the ethics of the organization. It established the goal and the ethics. We have talked about the philosophy now. Philosophy is one of the elements of a mission statement. What's your philosophy? What's your operating style? So it's established goal, because once we know the mission now, then we now need to be what? We need to try as much as possible to be working towards it. Then to provide a common purpose for all individuals and groups, for all groups and individuals within the world. Common purpose. And that's why we say a mission statement should be should be general. It's not something, though you are in Bayelsa branch now. It's still the same thing with the one that we have in Kano. So it provides a common purpose for all groups and individuals within the organization, because it's the same thing, irrespective of the location of that business, irrespective of the branch that you are. So it provides a common purpose. Everybody will know. And there are some mission statements that inspire. There are some good. You look at some organization mission, they are very, very inspired. Even though you don't want to work before, you are the one that you have a bad attitude towards work. But when you see the mission statement of the organization, it is very interesting. So a mission statement, that's why we say it should be it should be memorable. It should be short. It's not something that is very long, but it should be a powerful word for change. You're able to inspire you, to prevent future misunderstanding, that provide coordination, to prevent future misunderstanding, so that everybody will know. Because once we develop this statement, it needs to be communicated to all stakeholders. So it will prevent future misunderstanding, because everybody's aware, and it is being communicated. It improve coordination between various departments, managers, and employee. It determines direction. Let me explain this. It determines direction. Where are we going? Once you develop your mission statement should be able to guide you. Should be able to give you a lead. If I want to develop a strategy now, my mission statement should be able to give me a direction towards that. Basis for competition. Don't worry, I'll be explaining this in strategic management. Basic for competition. There are some mission statements that will say that we want to be the lowest cost producer. So that means that if any other person is selling their own at higher price, your product will always be cheap in that particular market. So it provides the basis for competition as well. Because once you have a strategy, there will be competition. So please don't forget, just know some of these. These are attributes, or sometimes I call it the important or the advantage of developing a mission statement, to provide a basis for consistent strategic planning decision, to establish the goals and ethics of the organization, to provide a common purpose for all groups and individuals within the organization, to inspire as well, to prevent future misunderstanding, and determine direction. So everything that have advantage also have disadvantage as well. It was a disadvantage. It is time consuming. Because when you want to develop a mission statement, you have to be careful. It's we call it a powerful force for change. So it is time consuming, but it's not really that time. It is just for you to get it right. Once you get it right, it's not something that would change every year. So it's still the same. Literally is also a time consuming. Problem in identifying priority. And it does. A mission statement doesn't prioritize for us. Oh, these are some of the things that we have to see very important. No, it doesn't state that. May only be used for communication and ignored by what? And ignored by top management. They only use it for what? For fancy purpose. Well, it's not what the management will, they will ignore it. There's a lot of different organizations that have come across that. What they even have in their what their mission statement is different. What they are doing is totally what different from what they are doing. And if you see their mission statement, it's very interesting that you'll be thinking, oh, this should be a what ethical business. But the top management has completely what ignored it. They are doing other things. That time was innovation. In terms of what, no, there are some mission statements that have been developed since a long period of time, and up to now, they are still using it. So there are some mission statements that discourage what innovation, what we have developed since what maybe 1999 when we registered this company with CSC. It's still that's what they are doing. So for them to what change this mission statement, introduce some innovation, is a problem. But regardless of the word, the disadvantage, still better. Every organization should have this, develop it, put it in what? In writing, communicate it to all stakeholders. The role of what? Mission statement in strategic work, in strategic planning. The role of what? Mission statement in what? In strategic planning. You know, is the word, is the building rock, is the building block. Without a mission, there's no strategy. Before I would develop a strategy, it is what? The first thing that I have to have at the back of my mind is the what? Is the mission statement. So mission statements serve as a what? As a building block for what? For strategic planning. Because your mission statement will influence the what? The type of strategy that you want to use. And look at this now. I think, look at this. Look at this. One of the benefits, we say what? Basic for competition. When we get to strategic management, according to Michael Porter, he tells us that their organization can compete in 3 ways. Let me tell you this in advance now. He said that organization can compete in what? In 3 ways. There's what we call cost leadership strategy. There's what we call what? Differentiation strategy. And there's what we call what? Focus what? Strategy. Don't forget that. We'll still be talking about it as well. According to Michael Porter, it tells us that we have what? 3 types of strategy. Sometimes we call it what? Generic what? Strategy. Porter generic strategy. And this generic strategy is 3. We have what we call cost leadership strategy. We have what we call differentiation, and we also have what we call what? Focus strategy. So under what? The cost leadership is that I'm going to compete with cost. Don't forget, I will compete with what? With cost. Meaning that I'll be the lowest product in the market. If others are selling their own 1,000 naira, I'll be selling my own, let's say 600 naira. So the reason why I'm doing that is that I believe that if I should compete using what? Using cost. So that if my product is what? Is low, then people will what? Will come to patronize me. Then differentiation is that you are going to differentiate your product will be the hot, it will be the highs in the market. So look at this. I say basis for what? Competition, because your mission will serve that. There are some mission or organization will say that they want to be the what? The lowest cost producer in this also particular what? In this also particular product or in this service. So if I want to develop a strategy as well, it to serve as the basis. So once your mission statement say that, oh, you want to be the lowest cost producer of what? Producing detergent or this type of service, then which type of strategy are you going to use? That means that you use what we call what? Cost leadership what? Cost leadership strategy. Now, after we have a mission, please don't forget, let me do a brief recap of some of the things that I made mention of. When we say a mission statement is the reason for existence of that organization. Why are you in business? What do you want to do? Which type of product do you want to sell? Which type of service do you want to render? Then we talk about what the fundamental question of the mission statement. What is valued by our customer? What should our business be? What is our business? Then we move on to talk about the lifespan. There's no a standing rule to say that, oh, your mission statement should use a 4 years, but keep on checking the environment. If there's a changes every year, review your mission statement periodically. So after a mission statement, the next thing is what we call a vision. Don't forget the element of a mission statement. Your the market, the customer, your philosophy, your concern for employee, your concern for your for your shareholders as well. Now, after a vision now, the next thing that we need to have is what we call vision. After mission, the next thing is vision. And when we say vision, vision is your future aspiration. Don't forget to. When we say a vision, vision is your is your future aspiration. What do you want to become in these so years? What is my vision? Oh, my vision is okay. I should have a before the end of before we finish before we get to 2030, then I should have a PhD in strategic management. That is my that is my vision. That is what by this also date. I should have a PhD in strategic management. So every organization also wants to develop a vision. You also need to have a vision. What's your future aspiration? Who do you want to become in this next 5 years? In 10 years, who do you want to know you for? And let me give you an example of my work during my undergraduate. I studied at Kwara State University. And the vision of my school is that they want to become a world-class university. That is their vision. That they want to become a world-class university. Okay? That is their vision. That they want to become a world-class university. Like that of Oslo, like that of Harvard. Now, you have set the target that, I want to become a world-class university. Okay? That's fine. And let me tell you something. There are some visions that in 100 years' time, you can't achieve it. There are some vision in in 100 years' time, you can't achieve it. And there are some you can achieve it. But when you say your vision is your future aspiration. So once you now have a vision now that I need to do I want to become a world-class university, then the next thing that you have to do is that you have to break this vision into goals and objectives. So what is cool, they have a department. What do they call this? They call it they have a department in admin called strategic planning unit. They have a strategic planning unit, and they usually issue, I think it's not after 5 years or 4 years, they usually issue strategic plan. That okay, since you set a target of becoming this also thing, they usually they break their vision into different segments. That and what they usually do is that a calendar now, okay, let's say for example now, I'm in 100 level now. Then let's say for example, when I enter 100 level, that's when they develop the new calendar. The calendar they usually use in school then is that it is a 4 years. So that means that at my 100 level now, I know the time that will graduate. It's not a calendar of every section you did. No, what they usually do is that they usually do a 4 years calendar. Is it 4 or 5 years? So now, and they usually have because they usually send the report, usually uploaded in their website. They have another thing they usually do in terms of building. That if you are saying that you want to become a world-class university, then you need to break it down. That every year, what are the things that you need to have? So if you say that your vision now of this social thing, then you have to break it down so that you're able to achieve it. For you to achieve that vision, and it's not something you have to have a plan. So they have a strategic plan of 5 years then. So that is our okay, in this world, within the 5 years, we should have a what? A 500 seating capacity of what? 5 in different what? Let's say in different faculties. So once you as an individual also, or as an organization, your organization that is saying that, oh, you want to be what? You want to be carbon neutral. That you don't want to be releasing what? Carbon dioxide into the what? Into the atmosphere. What are the things that you have to do? Because when we get to ethics, there are some what organizations nowadays that are trying to do what we call what? Carbon neutral. In terms of what they want to reduce the what? And because there's a report by the climate scientists by saying that by 2050, if company does not reduce the carbon dioxide they release to the atmosphere, it will cause climate problem. And that's why in some season you have what? You have a lot of what? Flood. There will be a lot of what? Rain. Because once you release, as you are releasing all this carbon dioxide, it will what? It is going to the atmosphere and it will stop. It will be there. So there are some organizations that are saying, oh, by 2030, I want to be a what? I want to be carbon what? Carbon neutral. So once you want to become a carbon neutral, what are some of the things that you are doing? Then you have to be what? Planning for solar. And that's why we pray that the Nigerian economy will be diversified as soon as possible, because the demand for crude oil will saturate. That's why we have what? Tesla now, electricity car and something like that. So do you think that people will consume? Your oil will not dry, but you will not see market for it. That's the problem. You see our void, but you will not see market for it. So please don't forget, when we say vision statement, your vision statement is your what? Is your future aspiration. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve in this so year? So now looking at this word, please have a look at this word. Have a look at this diagram. Please have a look at this diagram now. Just for what? Just for some minute now. Have a look at this diagram, please. So this diagram that you're seeing, this is what? This is the vision of what? It's not Microsoft, okay? Okay, this is what? This is the vision of what? Microsoft. And this is their what? This is their vision as well. And this is their what? This is their value system. This is the vision of what? Microsoft. Their vision is to what? To create a what? A local opportunity, growth, and impact in every what? In every community and country around the world, to create a what? A local opportunity, a growth, and impact in every what? In every community and what? Country around the world. So you can see this is a very tough what? This is a very tough mission. And one of the characteristics of your what? Of your vision statement should be something that will challenge you. Your vision statement should not be something that is very what? We are not saying that it should be so hard. No, it has to be something that will really challenge you as an organization or as individual to be on top of your what? To be on top of your game. So your mission, your vision shouldn't be something that is a very easy things that you can easily achieve. Look at what Microsoft is saying. Do you think that is a very easy? Now look at the what maybe my aluminum. I'm saying my what during my undergrad in my school. I don't want to become a world class university. This is something that I can achieve within a word. It's not something that's very easy. So as a human being, self, as an individual, don't make your work, your vision to be something that is very easy for you. Make it something that we're able to challenge so that you're able to work more. Then this is your mission, let's say, to empower what every person and every what organization on the planet to achieve what? To achieve more. Look at how brave it is and look at how inspired it is. To empower what? Every person and every organization on the planet to work to achieve more. You can do better. What is now our value system? What is our value? What are the things that we see that is very, very important? Innovation. We value innovation. We value what? Diversity. Diversity in terms of what we value people from Africa, we value people from Europe as well, the Haitian. Let them come together to work in the same organization. We value diversity as well. We value corporate social responsibility. I think Microsoft usually do their CSR through what Bill Gates Foundation. They value philanthropy as well. They see environment as something that is very, very important. So they value what environment and trustworthy computing. The type of software that will be given to you should be a software that is very that should be trustworthy, that you can rely upon. So if you have please, if you have any question, just put it in the comment section. I will attempt to it as we are moving on. So please, key element of a good vision. Okay, I think I've made mention of this before. It should be a forward vision. A key element of a vision statement should be a forward looking. Your mission statement, is not something that will be looking about the past. No, it will be looking about is the future. What would I become in 2030, in 2050? That's your that's the characteristics of of a vision. A vision statement is not something that will do that will be looking at what I've done in the past. Your vision segment should be able to motivate and inspire and it should bring inspiration, forward looking, motivating and inspiration. These are the characteristics of a good vision statement. Forward looking, always be looking about the future, not the past, not the present. Then it should be able to motivate and inspire as well. Reflective of the company's culture and their core value is another characteristics of a vision. Reflect, you're able to reflect the company culture and their core value. Another characteristics of a vision is that aiming at bringing benefits and improvement to the organization is in the future. Yeah, if you develop a vision, it's not for your it's not, the benefit is for you. Jimmy, you are the one that is planning that in this also years, I want to be this, I want to be that. So the benefit that you also accrue from it is only for your own organization, it's for the benefit. So that in the future, you become a better organization. You become a better individual. Define the company reason for existence and where is heading to. The reason for your existence is your mission. Mission statement is the reason. Why do you establish that organization? The purpose of establishing that organization is your mission. But your vision now is is your future aspiration. Since you have established this business now in 2021, where do you see that company in in 2050? That is what we call a vision statement. It's a long term. But before you develop a vision, what will come first is your mission statement. Mission statement is the reason for existence of the organization. But vision now is your future aspiration. So it defined the company reason for existence and where is heading to. You can see this is a what? This is a vision of what Microsoft said to what? To create a local opportunity, growth, and impact in every community and country around the world. Around the world. That's what the vision of what Microsoft. So lastly, before we talk about goals and objectives, there's a new things now, which is what we call purpose statement. But purpose statement, hold on, please. This purpose statement is not in your what? It's not in your syllabus. I just decided to include it because most organizations have started talking about what a purpose statement. So what you have in your syllabus is the mission, is goals, vision, goals and objective, and what strategy. So the purpose statement is not there. But there's a rise in what's in purpose statement and mission statement, vision, and what value are the traditional, the most common description of a business that explain why it works, why it exists. In recent years, another what type of statement has also emerged in the business world and is gaining more popularity now. This type of statement is called a purpose statement. In terms of, apart from the tradition of the vision, goals, and all this thing, there's a new one that is gaining attention in the business world. And that's what we call a purpose statement. So what is now a word? What is now a purpose statement? A purpose statement conveys a compelling reason for existence, just like as the mission statement and the vision do. But it also shows the connection between the brand identity and the workplace culture of the company. It combines the component of a mission statement, vision, and value into a single statement. That is what we call a vision a purpose statement. It combines It combines all these your three traditional statements into a single statement called a purpose statement. So please don't forget that is a new thing. That's it. So another let's just have let's have some 2-minute break before I will discuss about goals and objectives. Then the remaining thing that are left is strategy. And that will end the introduction to strategic management. So let me go back to let me just do a brief recap for 1 minute now, then I'll give you just like a 2-minute break, then we'll come back to discuss about goals and objectives. So we talk about goals and we're talking about introduction to strategic management. And we started with mission statement in terms of what is mission. We said a mission statement is the reason for existence of that organization. Why are you in business? What do you want to do? And this is a mission statement of Nike in terms of Nike see everyone as as an athlete. Their mission statement is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. If you have a body, you're like an athlete. And we also talk about what Drucker was fundamental question. According to this management scholar, Peter Drucker, he said that a mission statement should give answer to these four fundamental questions. What is our business? What is valued by the customer? What is our business? What is valued by the customer? What should our business be? And what will our business be? These are the four fundamental questions of the mission statement. And how long a mission statement should. There's no a standing rule of how long your mission statement should be, but it should be reviewed. It should be reviewed periodically to ensure that it still reflects the organization environment. So if it does not reflect the organization environment anymore, that means that there has to be changes in our mission statement. Then we also move on to talk about some of the elements of the mission statement: the customer, the product, the market, the competitors, the technology as well, the concern for survivor, the philosophy, and concern for the employee as well. So these are the mission statement element of the mission statement. Then we talk about some of the characteristics. It should be brief, it should be general, statement of purpose, the powerful force for change. What are now the benefits? What are the purpose? It provides the basis for consistent strategic planning decision. It establishes the goals and objectives of the organization. You provide a common purpose for all groups and individuals within the organization, irrespective of the location, irrespective of the branch that you are. Our mission statement is what is the same. It helps to prevent future what misunderstanding. And that's why when you develop a mission statement, you have to communicate so that everybody will know. And then we talk about briefly about the disadvantage as well in terms of what it is time consuming. Problem in identifying what priority may only be used for communication and ignored by what? And ignored by top management. It does not encourage what? Innovation. The role in terms of what? Before you develop a word, before you develop a strategy, the building block for a strategy is your word, is your mission statement. Then we talk about vision. Vision is your word, is your future aspiration. A vision statement describes a company desire to achieve in the long run. Generally, it's a time frame of what, maybe 10 to 5 years, or even what, or even longer. Yeah. That's your vision, what statement. What do you want to become in the world in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? Now we'll talk about this is a vision of Microsoft. This is your mission as well, and this is your value. What this is your value system. What are the characteristics of a good mission? Forward-looking, motivating, and inspirational. So let us have a 2 minutes break now, and then what we return back to starting with what goals and objectives. That will be the next thing that we'll be talking about now. Goals. So just for a 2 minute break, let's prepare ourselves. So now welcome back everyone, and let's continue now. So now let's continue. Let me share my screen. So now, once you have a mission, you have a vision. Then we also need to talk about what goals and objectives. When we say goal, goal had the aim of the entity to achieve, expressed in words in narrative terms. They are broad intention. For example, an entity might have the goal of maximizing the wealth of its shareholders, or the goal of being a world-leading business entity in one or more markets. So your goal, and every organization will have this, is a broad intention expressed in what? In narrative terms. That every organization, okay, what's your goal? What's the goals of establishing that organization? Oh, my goal is to what? Is to make profits. Oh, my goal is to what? To maximize the wealth of my shareholders. Or my goal is to be the best company in this particular geographical environment. Then what are the attributes of a future of a goal? A goal should be attainable. In terms of what? If we say, oh, my goal is to become this and that, then that target that you are setting, though, I want to maximize the word of my shareholder, it should be something that you should be able to attain. It should be attainable. It should be verifiable in terms of is the things that we can easily verify. And it should be time bound. And let me even use this. Okay, hold on. I'll come back to objective. Here. We usually say what goals and objective. Okay, let me also explain objective as well. So because when we say objective are derived from goal. Once you have a goal now, oh, my goal is to become this and that. My goal is to make a profit. Then you need to have what? Objective. Objective are derived from the goal of an entity and are aim expressed in form that can be measured. That is, if you want to measure your worth, if you want to measure your goals now, your objective are derived from the what? Objective are derived from the goal. And the aims are expressed in form that can be measured. Once you establish a goal, okay, goal are the broad intention of that organization. What is your goal? What do you want to do? Oh, my goal is to make profit. My goal is to do this. Then you also need to have objective. Objective are derived from goal, and their aim is to express, and are expressed in what? In what we can really measure. So we usually say goals and objective must be must be smart. Goals and objective must be must be smart. The S means must be specific. When we say characteristics of goals and objectives, they are the same thing. It is not only for what? It is not only for objective. The characteristics of a goals and objective, they are the same. And we use this mnemonic called SMART, meaning that goals and objective must be specific. That is, your goal should be specific. Okay, what is your goal on this particular area? Oh, this is my goal on this particular area. Then it should be specific. It should be clearly stated that the reason why I'm doing this particular activities, this is what I pray. It should be my end product result. Then it should be measurable. It should be measured. That is, your goals and objectives should be something that you should be able to measure, whether you are doing whether you are achieving it or you are not you're not achieving it. Then it should be agree in terms of it should be agreed between the stakeholders that is involved. Then another characteristic of goals and objective is must be what? Realistic. It must be what? It must be realistic. It must be what? It must be realistic. It has to be what? It has to be realistic. That can you really what? Can you really achieve it? That's another thing. It has to be realistic. And I can remember when I was in what? When I was doing my undergraduate, I set a goal one time that in one semester, I should have what? I should have 5.0. That is all the course I'll be doing, I should have A. But I didn't achieve it. And I also set the goal one time that I should one time, before I will finish school then, I should have what? I should score 60 over 61. In one subject, I should have what? 60. And when I was in 300, I've qualified then. So in my 400 level, most of the work that I'm doing already passed through it in ICAN. So we are doing group accounting. And I set a target for what? In that group account, I want to have 60. That in this exam, at least we are giving what 3 questions and answer what? No, sorry, we are giving 4, answer 3, which is 20 mark. So I'm very good in what? In group accounting then as well. So I set a target in this exam, I should score what? I should score a 60. But I did not also achieve that. And what happened is that I can remember, which I didn't forget. You know, when you are doing what? When you are doing associates, if associates sell, we don't need to give associates all the unrealized profits. Let's say associate now is 40%. So I would just say 40 divided by 100 multiplied by that what? By that unrealized profit. So what the mistake that I did in the exam, then I just used the whole of the unrealized profit. So I was wondering that why did the statement doesn't balance? And that was what caused that. So, but you have to set the goal sometime that are realistic in terms of what, but your goal should be able to what challenge you so that you're able to do more. Then there has to be a time bomb in terms of what, oh, by this so particular time, I should be able to what? I should be able to achieve this. So please, my people, don't forget, these are the characteristics of goals and what? Objective. Don't forget the mnemonic core word, SMART. Meaning that it should be what? Specific, it should be measurable, it should be what? Agree, it should be what? Realistic, and it should also be what? Time in terms of what? When are you going to achieve it? Or do you see is something that, oh, within 5 years I will achieve it, within 4 years? So every goals and objective that whether it's individual or the company that you're setting on, then there has to be what time board on when you are going to work, you're going to achieve it. And if you can remember during our corporate governance class, I make mention of what there's one particular UN report. We call it what SDG, Sustainable Development Goal by the United Nations, which is a 17 goal. That United Nations and which Nigeria is also part of that what is also part of the United Nations that signed the agreement that between now and 2030 we must achieve this 17 goal. I've sent it to the group chat as well. That's our goal. You can see there's a time frame now that between this social time we want to achieve this 17 goal. If you check the group, you see the word. I've sent the image of that. United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, the 17 goal. That before 2030, we must achieve this. So every goal must have a time bomb. It should be realistic. And those 17 goals, they are realistic. A good economy should be able to achieve it before we get to 2030. So a company can also set objective relating to some of this. You can set objective relating to your profitability. In this next 5 years, I want to have a profit before tax of 10 billion. So you can set objective relating to profitability. You can set the objective relating to your productivities as well. Let's say you are producing 1,000 metric ton per day now. Then you can also set your objective to produce more than 1,000 metric ton per day. Or if it is 1,000 barrel of oil per day, then you can also set a target relating to increasing your productivity. You can also set objective relating to your innovation and invention and innovation. Invention and innovation. If your product, if you are using maybe color yellow before, then you can do some product redesign. Then you change the color as well, even though the what, because as a company, you have to be innovative for you to sustain now. Because even though you are not even changing any of your service or any of your product, but you have to do what? You have to be innovative in terms of what? Change the product design. Let's see the customer see that, say, oh, is it the product I buy what I bought yesterday? No, they should see it differently. Marketing what? Marketing stand and your what? And your market share. Marketing stand and the what? The market share. In terms of what, don't worry, by our what, by our next class, by God grade, we should be able to talk about what BCG model. Don't worry, by next class, by God, we should be able to talk about what BCG model. Then we can also set what objective relating to CSR, in terms of what, like our president has said that they want to leave to so particular what individual out of poverty in Nigeria. So organization can also say that as well. Your research and development, they're very, very important. You can set objective relating to your research and development. So what are now the what? What are the function of what objective? What are the function of objective? It's helping what? In planning, responsibility, integration, motivation, and what? Evaluation. We call it what? Prime. Function of what? Objective. Don't forget, characteristics of goals and objective is what? Is SMART. Function of what? Objective is what? Is prime. Planning, responsibility, integration, motivation, and evaluation. Starting with the first one, planning. Can objective be able to what? Should be able to care for the phase plan and the what? The strategic what? The strategic policy. Responsibility, it must be seen to be responsible in what? In nature. It must be seen to be responsible in what? In nature. And we also have what? Integration. Integration meaning that it should be what? It should be like a what? A bridge to other what? Corporate goals and what? Objective. In terms of what? Your objective should be what? Integration. When we say integration, meaning that it should what? It should be able to connect what? Other what? Goals and purposes that you have before. You should be able to integrate them together. And that's why I think we remember this during the corporate governance class. I asked us to read about what? Integrated reporting. Although it's not on your syllabus, you'll be coming across it maybe by God grace in the next diet when you're in the professional level. Is what we call integrated reporting. And the idea of integrated reporting is that apart from presenting a financial statement that will show your financial capital alone, you also need to bring up other 5 capital. So when you hear about 5 capital, when you hear about 6 capital, we are talking about integrated reporting. And it's is mandatory in South Africa now. You are a listed company in the Johannesburg stock exchange. It's a mandatory for you to have integrated reporting. So integrate, your objective should be able to integrate other corporate goals and objectives together. Motivate as well. Motivate employee. Evaluation is subject to evaluation from time to time, just monitoring it. All the objectives that you are set, you need to keep on checking it, evaluating it, assessing it, whether it's still okay, whether there's a area that you need to amend or everything is okay. We have type of objective, what we call mission objective, corporate objective, and we also have what we call mission objective. Units. Don't forget type of objective. There are 3 types of objective: mission objective, corporate objective, and what we call unit objective. So a mission objective, this is a general objective, visionary, often written and very open without any time limit to that's like your that's like your mission statement. There's no any time limit for you to be able to achieve it. It will be there. Corporate objective, this kind of objective which concern the frame as a whole in terms of corporate. It is quantifiable, explicitly, and also measurable. Corporate in terms of it covers the whole of that organization. Let's say, for example, now I develop what we call this objective now relating to to profitability. So if I develop objective relating to profitability, now it's not only the sales and the sales or the marketing department that will do the work. this particular objective will to cause across the world, the whole of the organization. So everybody will be what? It will be working towards it. That is corporate objective. Whether you are in what, you are in IT department, that the organization is saying that they want to maintain a profit of 4 billion. And that one, you see that one as is nothing that concerns you. No, a corporate objective is to what? It covers the whole of the organization. Everybody have to work together in order for us to achieve that. Then we also have what we call unit, from the word unit. This one is for a word, is a particular division. You can set a separate target now for what? Marketing department now. That is a unit objective. The objective of this the one that we are giving to the marketing now, it may be different from the one that we go to to research and development. So that's a unit objective. It's only addressing to a individual unit within that organization. Please don't forget mission, corporate, and what? Corporate cover what? Mission is cover everything as well, just like the normal mission statement. Corporate cover the whole organization. Unit is only for for a certain a certain division within our organization. For statutory audit, it's to express what? It's to express opinion. I mean, if I do statutory audit, what's the end product? What's the objective of that? It's to express opinion whether the financial statement show a true and fair view. What's the objective of having VAT? And that's creating the problem now. To reduce consumption of luxurious item and no essential goods. That's the objective of having value-added tax. Why in some countries they call it they call it GST, sales goods sales tax. Then who decide your mission and your objective? Who decide this? Who decide the mission, goals, and objectives? Is the top management of that organization that will determine, or sometimes we call them the leader. That who will say that, this is my mission, this is my mission statement, is the leader of that is the leader of that organization that will develop it. That our mission statement is this, our mission statement is that. When can entity state its mission in the mission statement? The statement is issued by the leader of the entity. For a company, the board of the board of directors. Similarly, formal goals and objectives of an entity are stated by its leader. However, the decision by the board of directors about the goals and objectives of an entity are influenced in the way in which the company is governed and the expectation of other stakeholders as well. So who decide the mission, the goals, and objective of organization? It is the leader of the organization that do it. Which is the board of directors. So at this moment, I've talked about the building block of a strategy. So the next thing we now need to talk about briefly before we go is what is strategy now. We need to be talking about strategy. So please, strategy is built on what? Don't forget, strategy is built on your mission, your vision, your goals, and your objective. Every strategy that you want to develop must still be in line with your mission, your vision, your goals, and your objective. If you develop a strategy that is not in line with this mission and all these things that we have been talking about close to 1 hour, 30 minutes now, it will not work, it will fail. It will fail, it will not succeed. It will not succeed. So now strategy and it's a very interesting area. Strategy, firstly, what is strategy itself? And this is a definition that was given by JSW. JSW, we call it JSW, Johnson Schools and Billington. And they give this definition in their they have a textbook, and which is very interesting, called Exploring Corporate Strategy. You can download it as well. So they say the strategy can be defined as the direction and scope of an organization. Don't forget, A strategy can be defined as the what? The direction and scope of an organization over the what? The long term, which achieve what? Which achieve advantage in a what? Let me be advanced in what? The key things here. Environment. And this is what makes their definition to be what? More acceptable than what? Than any other definition in strategy. One, they incorporate what? Environment. They also make mention of what? Long term. Sorry, let me highlight that as well. Long term. A strategy can be defined as the what? The direction and what? Scope of an organization over the what? Over the long term, which achieve a what? Which achieve advantage in a what? A changing what? Environment. Changing environment in terms of what? Environment is not static. Environment is what? Is dynamic. And in some texts, they will call it what? Instead of calling it what? Environmental analysis, they will call it what? Situation analysis. Sometimes if I say what? Environmental analysis, I can also call it what? Situation analysis. Because environment is not what? Environment is dynamic. What happened today may be different from what will happen tomorrow. True is what? Configuration of what? Configuration of resources and competence with the aim of fulfilling what? With the aim of fulfilling stakeholders what? Stakeholders obligation. With the aim of fulfilling what? Stakeholders what? Obligation. Please don't forget this. They say what? Strategy is what? Strategy is defined as the what? A long term, which achieve a what? You can see there's a what? There's a long term here. They also make mention of what? Environment. And you can also see they also make mention of what? Stakeholders. So this is the what? This is the definition of strategy that was given by what? JSW. Now, what are now words? Let's now answer a strategic what? 5-year plan of an please. And as you see this, if you check what? If you check one of the words, one diet ago, maybe in 2019, the examiner has asked this before, and it is for 5 marks. I can remember it because someone showed me. That what are the questions that what a 5-year strategic plan what is going to give answer to? If you check what any diet in what in 2019, you are going to see this. That what the examiner asks you something like this. What are the questions that the what a strategy what will give answer to? Strategic what question? No, we also have what mission question by Drucker. These are what we call what strategic question. Strategy will give answer to where are we now? Where are we now? Strategy will also give answer to what? Where do we want to be in these so years? Maybe in the next 5 years, maybe in the next 10 years. Where are we now? Oh, I'm in what? I'm in Port Harcourt now. Where do we want to be? Let's say in the next 5. Oh, I want to come to what? I'm going to what now? Let's say I'm going to Delta. Where are we now? I'm in Port Harcourt. Where are we going? Oh, I want to go to Delta. Then another thing that we need to ask ourselves, which is the third one, is that, okay, you are saying you are going to Delta. How do we want to get there? How do we want to get from where we are now to where we want to be? And this is the what? This is the most toughest thing in what in strategy. It's not about determining that where you are. You can do that. Oh, I am in this so this is our position now. This is our market position now. Then where do you want to see yourself in this so years? Oh, this is where I want to see myself. Then, how do we want to get there? That's another thing that we need to ask ourselves. Organization also, when you are developing your strategy should be able to give answer to this. That how will you get there? Oh, am I going to use what? Am I going to travel through the air? Am I going to travel through the sea? Am I going to travel through the land? How do we want to get there? Is what you can see now. You have what? You have different options now. And that's what will now lead us to what we call what strategic choice. According to this word, Johnson and Scholes and Whittington, they also say that what strategic management, there are 3 elements of strategic management. I'll also be talking about it today as well. I say we have what 3 elements of what strategic management. Please don't forget 1, that's what we call strategic position. 2, now we have what we call what strategic choice. And the 3rd one is what we call what strategic what implementation. 1 element of strategic management, don't forget. 1 strategic what position. The 2nd one we have what we call what strategic choice. The 3rd one we have what we call what strategic what implementation, or sometimes we call it what action. So most of the time, by the word in the next class now, we'll be talking about what choice, position. Under position, what we just had is what? Analyze the environment. Analyze what? The environment. That is what position in terms of what? Where do you want to position that strategy to? Then after position, now you have to be looking about choice. And the largest part of what strategic management is about choice. And that's why it should take our time in terms of what you have to carefully what analyze it. Action is just what implementation. Whatever you select the what, like a function of a manager. Some of us remember. I usually say manager have 5 functions. One of the toughest functions of a manager is decision making. Because under decision making now you have choice, you have alternative. So if you select the wrong one, all your direction, your planning, it is in vain. So decision making is very, very important. That's why we call it choice. How large will the company be? How large will the company be? Or do you think it's a small organization? Do we think it should be a medium? Or should we be the large one? How large will the company be? The strategy should be able to give answer to this. What will he be doing? What are you going to be doing? Which goods are you going to be selling? Which product are you going to be what? Which service are you going to be rendering? What will you be doing? Where will you be operating? Where do you will be operating? Oh, I'll be operating from the south. I'll be operating from the north central. Then you should be able to tell us where will you be operating? This company now, you have developed your mission, your vision, your goal. Then what you can see now, strategy is built on what? It's built on all those 3 items that we have talked about. Where will you be operating? Where? How many employees will you need? And at what? What skills they have? How many employees did I need? Oh, I need 10. Okay. Oh, I need what? I need 250 employees. Of what skills? Is it people that study biochemistry? Or someone that is a what? How many chartered accountants did I need? Or how many quality surveyor did I need? So how many employees would he need? And what skills would they need? In terms of what? Which type of skills in this employee am I looking for? Or I'm looking for 250 employees. Of what skills? Is it management? Is it in science? What technology will you be using? As simple as this thing that what I'm talking about before, I'm talking about now that you're seeing on my screen. This has been tested. And it's for 5 months. That give us 5 questions our strategy will give answer to. Please don't forget this. I can't remember exactly that, but I'm very sure it's in May 2019. You're going to see something like this there. Strategic question. Where are we now? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years? Where are we now? Where are we going? How do we want to get there? How large will the company be? What are we be doing? Where will we be operating? How many employees do we need? And what skills? Which type of technology are we going to be using? So Johnson and Scholes also identify 3 level of strategy. Johnson and Scholes also identify 3 levels of strategy. Does this strategy have Strategy exists in what? In 3 levels. Strategy exists in what? 3 levels. There's what we call corporate strategy. There's what we call business strategy. And there's also what we call what? Functional strategy. Corporate strategy, business strategy, and we also have what we call what? Functional strategy. And this one, you see this word, business strategy, please note it down. We can also call it what? SBR strategy. SBR. SBR means what? Strategic what? Business unit. Don't forget to. If we do not call it what? Business what? Strategy, we can also call it what? SBR, strategic what? Business unit. Sorry, okay, what we call SBU. Strategic what? Business unit strategy. That's another name that you can call what? Business strategy. So as we are moving on now, you may be seeing what? SBU. SBU strategy is the same thing as what? Business what? Strategy. And we also have what we call what? Functional strategy, which is the third one. We can also call it what we call what? Operational what? Strategy. It is a strategy of what? Day to day. When we say functional strategy, or sometimes we call it what? Operational strategy. It's a strategy of what? Day-to-day running of the company. Just like an accountant will say what? Working capital. Your working capital is the what? The capital that you need to what? To continue to run the administration of the business, the day-to-day. But when you say functional strategy, or sometimes we call it what? Operational strategy. It's a strategy of what? Day-to-day running of the company. Don't forget business strategies. You can also call what? SBU. The meaning of SBU mean what? Strategic what? Business units. So what are corporate strategy now? Corporate strategy is concerned with what? Deciding which business or businesses an entity should be in and setting target for the what? For the achievement of this overall what? Objective. When we say corporate strategy, it gives answer to what? Which business are we going to be in? And this one is determined by the what? By the top level management. Corporate. Oh, we are in what? In the financial what? The financial industry. Okay. So after we have what? Corporate what? Corporate strategy now. That this one, whether it will define the what? The whole strategy of that organization. That, oh, this is the business that we are doing. Oh, we are engaging in what? In consumer sector. Oh, I'll be doing what? On things that can be consumed, beverages, and something that can be consumed like that as well. So once you now develop this corporate strategy, the next strategy that you now have is what we call business. So every what now, let's say for example, you have different segments. You have what? Like let's say for Dangote now, Dangote have different sections in terms of what? There's a what? One is in consumer sector. We have at least they have sugar. They have another one that is doing what? Cement under the what? The natural goods. So that's a what? A business strategy now. Every division will have its own what? Strategy. So the strategy that you develop for what? For each division. The one that you are going to develop, okay, let's say for example now, GT Bank has done what? Restructuring now, where we call them what? GT what? Guaranteed Trust Holding. It's no more what GT, they call it GT Co. Meaning that in that holding now, we have a what? A segment within what? GT that is in the banking. We have the one that may be going for what? Other insurance what? Business. Just like what? Stanbic now. Stanbic is in the banking. They also have what? Pension. So, but corporate strategy will define each of the whole division as a whole. But business now, the business strategy of each division now, in Stanbic now, the business strategy for the banking, it will be different from the one in what? In pension. Maybe some of us here now, we are using them as our what? As our PFA. So what are now the element of this corporate strategy? It defines the purpose of the word, the entity. It defines the word, define the purpose of the entity. It defines the scope of the business. It defines the scope of the activities of the word, of the entity. It defines the purpose. What are we doing? The scope and the purpose. Why do we establish this organization? Just like a mission. It decides the scope of the activity in terms of what are we doing? Matching business activities to the world, to the external world, to the external environment. Matching what business activities to the what external what environment. Sorry. Matching the word, the purpose of the word, the purpose of the organization to the expectation of the word of the owner. And another one is what matching the purpose and activities of the organization to the expectation of what other stakeholders. Matching the purpose and the activities of that organization to the expectation of what the owner, to the to who again, to other stakeholders. And another one is what matching the choosing business activities to the external environment of the entity, and also is available resources. Don't forget, they are very, very easy to decode. Element of a corporate strategy. One, define the purpose, the scope of the activities, matching the business activities to its environment, matching the purpose and the activities of the business to its owner and to other stakeholders. These are the 5 elements of a corporate strategy. Matching the expectation to the owner in terms of this company now, what is the owner expectation? Your corporate strategy should be able to match that with when you're developing strategy. Corporate strategy and the expectation of owners and other stakeholders. Like the owner now, what are you expecting? See yourself as a shareholder now. What are some of the things that you are expecting now? Owner expectation. They say in a commercial company, the owner are the shareholders. Some of us know this as well. This might expect the company to provide them over time with investment income or with growth in their wealth. Corporate strategy may therefore aim towards maximization of shareholders wealth. Expectation of the owner expectation. What is your owner expecting? Oh, they expect growth. They expect a high return. Every year pay us dividend. And some of us will remember during the corporate governance class, we make mention of agency theory. Agency theory, where we have agency conflict. One of the agency conflict is what we call what do we call this? We call it moral hazard. Moral hazard in terms of the director would like to receive higher remuneration, but the director will receive higher remuneration, but the principal, which is the shareholder, may not like that. But the one that I need to explain that relate to what I'm talking about now is what we call any retention. Any retention in terms of the shareholder can decide. Who have the power to declare that we are paying dividend or we are not paying is the director. It's the director that have the power. Oh, this year we pay this also dividend. But what the shareholder will just do during the AGM is just to do approval. Just to make approve it. So, but who has the power that we are paying or we are not paying? Is the director. So if the director say that we are not paying, there's nothing that you do. What you should just do as shareholder is for you to continue to make noise. And if your director are good, they can give you a bonus issue, just for you to keep quiet, so that you'll not be causing problem. So owner expectation in terms of is element of corporate strategy. Owner expectation. What is the owner? What are they expecting? Oh, they are expecting to provide They expect the company to provide them over time with investment income, or with growth in their wealth. By the time I purchased your share, it was 15 naira. I expect that the share price will always continue to grow. And another one, which is also a element of corporate strategy, is what we call stakeholders expectation. Stakeholders expectation. Here now, owner expectation, this one is the word. We are talking about the shareholders. But now when we say stakeholders now, it is not only it is not only the shareholder that we are talking about, the employee, the community, the government, and the rest like that. So they also expect something from the company as well. The term stakeholders mean what? Any individual or group of individuals who have a strong interest or a stake in the organization and what it does. This choosing what corporate strategy should also recognize the right and expectation of what other stakeholders, such as your word, regardless of your word, regardless of your strategy, you have to recognize others as well. The reason for your existence is not only for your word, it's not only for your share with us. You have to think about your customer, you have to think about your employee. Please don't forget element of what? Element of corporate strategy, the purpose of the organization, the scope of the activities, the what? Matching those choosing what business activities with the what environment. We are still going to be talking about what business, what environment. Matching the purpose and activities of the organization with expectation of the owner and with what other stakeholders. These are the elements of what of corporate what strategy. Then we have what we call what business strategy. Business strategy sometimes is also called what competitive what strategy. Please also know this one. So making three now. You can call it what SBU, strategic business unit strategy, or you can also call it what competitive what strategy, or you call it what business what strategy. It's concerned with how each of the business activities within the entity contribute to the achievement of the what of the corporate. So once you develop what corporate strategy, okay, that's all. This one will be determined by the what by the board at the head office. Then we now need to have a business strategy now. A business strategy is to also help to achieve the corporate. And once we develop a business strategy, we also need to have another strategy called what functional what strategy, or we call it what operational. This one is a strategy of what day to day. According to what Porter, we'll be making reference to this man very well. A successful competitive strategy must be based on either this. Either what cost leadership or differentiation strategy. And let me explain this in advance. This is not the first, this will not be the last time I will do of making reference to this. So you see be hearing it again. When we say cost leadership strategy is a strategy that you organization is going to adopt to do what? To gain to win a competitive edge using what? Price. You are going to use price to gain a competitive advantage. And I think I've made mention of this in the words today as well. When we say cost leadership in terms of what, my price will be the lowest. If others are selling their own 5,000 naira, I can decide to sell my own 2,000 naira. That means I'm competing. I want to gain a competitive advantage. I want people to be buying my product as a result of what? Price. Because the consumer, they are price sensitive. So I want to gain a competitive advantage using what? Using price. That is what we call cost leadership strategy. We also have another one called differentiation strategy. Differentiation strategy is that my product, it will be the highest in the market. My product will be the what? My product will be the highest in the market. I'm going to differentiate it. But I'll differentiate it in terms of what? The durability. I'll differentiate it in terms of the quality of the product. So my price will be high. And let me tell you something in strategy, that we don't develop a strategy to make everybody happy. No, we don't develop a strategy to make all stakeholders to be happy. No, there are some strategy that we are going to develop that we have to chase some people that I don't need you. Go to other organization. You don't develop a strategy to make to make everybody happy. Some will have to go. If you develop a strategy and all your stakeholders, they are happy about it, that's the wrong strategy. Strategy is not meant for everybody. Your product is not meant for everybody. Your service is not meant for everybody. So if you are developing your strategy, have it at the back of your mind that your product is not for everybody as well. And your service is not for everybody. So if you develop a strategy now and all your stakeholders are happy, that's a bad strategy. So organization now, you can choose any of this. At least you can compare the price of what, maybe Apple now, with that, or the price of what, with the price of what other, let's say, for example, the Evenings or the Samsung. You can see they differentiate their products. The price is high, but the durability of it is good. Then we also have functional strategy. Functional strategy is a strategy of what, day-to-day running of the day-to-day running of the company. That's what we call functional strategy. A functional strategy relates to a particular function within an organization, such as the manufacturing, distribution, the marketing and sales, R&D, the finance, and and so on. And we'll also be talking about this, and it is it's just a one chapter, and which is chapter 8. Because strategic management cover from chapter 1 to chapter 8. So functional strategy is the one in chapter 8. That's and just one chapter. We have what we call functional strategy. It's the strategy of day-to-day. We can have what we call marketing strategy. We can have what we call research and development strategy, your finance strategy, your IT. We'll be talking about some of these as we're moving on as well. So please don't forget, according to JSW, they say we have We have three levels of strategy. We have what we call corporate strategy. We have what we call business strategy, or sometimes we call it SBU strategy, or sometimes we can also call it competitive or strategy. Then we also have what we call functional strategy, or sometimes we can also call it operational strategy. So according to Harry and Anthony, let's say we have three levels of planning. Just like we have three levels of strategy. We have what we call strategic planning. We have what we call tactical, and we also have what we call operational. You see this strategy, sometimes we call it there's another name that we call it. We call it strategic planning. This one we call it medium planning, and this one we call it I can't remember. So these are the three levels of planning. We have what we call strategic planning. We have what we call tactical, and we also have what we call operational planning. Operational planning is a planning for day to day. It's for short term. And you can see it here. This is detailed planning of activities, often at the supervisory level or junior management level, for the achievement of a short-term goals and targets. Those are operational. From the word operation, operation is a word, at least majority of us here we are watching, is a word. It's a day-to-day stuff. And this is where we do a lot of work. Tactical planning, those are short-term plan for achieving a medium term. Yes, we usually call this one medium-term planning. This strategic one, we call it long-term planning. This one we call it long-term. That's another name I remember now. Strategic plan, we can call it a long-term planning. Tactical plan, we can call it medium, and operational plan, we call it short-term plan. It's the same thing. So don't forget. Under strategic plan, we can call it strategic plan, or we call it a long-term plan, because strategic plan is strategy is not something of maybe a 1 month or a 2 month. No, it's for a long period of time. Tactical plan is a planning for medium term. While operational plan is what we call short-term planning. So these are three levels of planning. Please don't forget, strategic planning is a planning for a long term. Tactical planning is a planning for the medium term, and the operational planning is for short term. Okay, let me just I'm going to close. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, there's no problem. Let me see what is next. So now let me just let me do something now. Let me explain stakeholders briefly, because I have talked about it in this class as well. What do we talk about on stakeholders? In corporate governance. But it's also in it's also in strategic planning as well. So let me just then I'll go back to element of what strategic planning, stakeholders analysis. At least this is not the first time that we talk about stakeholders. We have different types of stakeholders and expectation. In terms of we have customer, we have employee, we have manager, and different people like that. And each of them have different expectations. Just like if you remember during the risk management class, we talk about what risks to stakeholders. Risks that is the risks that employee is going to face is different from that of manager. It will be different from that of the community. So we have different stakeholders, and all of them come with different expectations. So the major stakeholders' expectation, like a shareholder now, is for what? Is for profit. A shareholder is interested in what? In profit. Director or senior managers and employees, they are interested in what? A remuneration. At least if you pay me on 24, I expect that should always be continued. Then customer, what do the customer expect? Customer expect a quality product or a service at a reasonable a reasonable price. It expects customer expect a quality product at a reasonable price. The price should not be high. A shareholder expect profit. Managers, senior directors, senior managers, employees, they expect a good remuneration. So we have model for analyzing stakeholders. We have model for analyzing stakeholders. We have what we call stakeholders position, or sometimes we call it important metrics. And we also have Mendeley metric. And thank God I'm the one that take corporate governance as a whole. So I remember I've talked about Mendeley metric as well. Then we also have another model called important stakeholders metrics. These are the two models that we have in stakeholders analysis based on your syllabus. Now, another one is that, which is not in your syllabus, I just decided to include it, stakeholders conflict. In terms of stakeholders usually fight, they usually have conflicts. Then so we look at the stakeholders, look at this simple diagram. We have the employee versus what now? Employee versus manager. What would be the conflict? Jobs, at least the wages versus bonus. Is the conflict that can exist between the employee and manager, the salary or the wages and the bonus that each of them is also entitled to. Customer versus shareholders now, product quality versus versus profits. Because if you are trying to satisfy your stakeholders by making by making a good profit, whereby you are compromising the quality of the product, that's a conflict now between the shareholders and the customer, because customer is interested in quality product at a reasonable price. So, but shareholders is interested in profit. So you can see that there's a conflict between these two. We also have general publics versus shareholders. A general public will expect a good environmental this organization should be environmental friendly. Don't do anything that will cause problem in the society or in the environment. We expect organization to be environmentally sustainable. Then you can see now if you do CSR, and I know CSR came with cost, then you can see it will affect the profit of the shareholders now. So you can see there's a conflict now between the general public and the shareholders. Then we also have the manager versus shareholders conflict in terms of growth versus independent. Growth versus independent. Shareholders will expect growth. Then the manager will also expect what independent. If you give me a free hand, let me do my work. Then I also include this just for what? Just for knowledge sake, in terms of what? How can we reduce conflict? And how can we reduce conflict? Because you can see now different words conflict. You can see different people is what is bringing up, is coming up with different expectations. So how can we reduce what? How can we reduce this conflict? How can we reduce this conflict? Where we can reduce this conflict, according to these two management scholars, Nice and what? March, they suggest a what? A four-way in which we can reduce what? We can resolve stakeholders what? Conflict. One, they say what? Certifying, involving what? Negotiation between the what? A key stakeholders to arrive at a what? Acceptable what? Compromise. Certify them, having a what? A negotiation. Oh, if employee is demanding for increase in salary, we can talk to you that, oh, we can't what? We can't do that as now. Maybe you should wait for what? You should wait for next year. Or what they are paying you now, you feel that you what with the certified with, then we can resolve this conflict now between the what? Employee and the manager through what? Certifying, okay, let's what? Maybe next year I'll meet your what? Expectation. Well, having a what? A negotiation with the what? With the stakeholder. So don't worry, next year the salary what? It will increase. It's a way of what? Resolving conflict. Because these people will have disagreement in management. We can't just leave it like that and go. We also need to talk about how can we avoid, in management, we have what we call what? Conflict management. We are not saying that you should not fight, have conflict. In human resources, we have what we call what? Leadership, conflict management. We are not advising people not to fight in organization. No, based on the modern school of thought, is that let them fight. Just like you're advising what husband and wife now not to fight. No, in management, we don't do that. It's a traditional management that is saying that what? Don't allow people to, there should not be any conflict within the organization. But the modern management say that conflict is what is allowed. Because if people fight now, it will bring what? New idea will be generated. Maybe I'm the one that do something that is wrong now. Or are we able to what? But if you correct me, there's a disagreement and two of us later sit down together and a new idea will be what? To be generated. Maybe I don't know before. But if there's a conflict now and the conflict is being resolved, a new idea will be generated. So maybe next time now, I will not do that again. But when you are saying that don't allow people to fight, that's a bad word. That's a traditional management. Sequential what? Attention is when management focus on what stakeholders need in what? In turn. Okay, I think in turn. For example, staff may receive a pay rise with a clear implication that it will not be what? It will not be in their turn for what? For a few years, and they should not what? Expect any further what? That's a word. That's what we call a sequential attention. Like if I attend to one stakeholders today, maybe the next 2 years, I'm not going to attend to again. That's what we call a sequential what? Attention. Let's resolve this one this year. By next year, I will resolve another one. By next one. Because all this demand now is still on this organization. Organization cannot meet everything. So I can do a what? Sequential attention. Let me focus on what? Employee today. Next year, I'll focus on what? The community. Slide payment is also a way of resolving conflicts. Where a stakeholder's primary objective cannot be met so that they are compensated on some other way. For example, a local community may object to a new factory being built on a site that will cause pollution, noise, and extra traffic. The firm concern may continue to be the factory, but try to appraise the community by also building a local a local sport facility for them. That if you do not if you don't want me to build my factory in your community, I can still go ahead to do that, but I'll also give you something in return. That's what we call slide payment. At least if I build factory that will cause pollution, then I can build hospital for you. Exercise of what? Exercise of power. This is when a dreadlock is being resolved by a senior manager, forcing through a decision, simply based on the power they possess. And this one is not really what is not really good, but sometimes we have to exercise it. In terms of words, power in terms of we'll tell you that do it like this and you do it like this. There's no word, there's no problem. So we can exercise power as well to resolve what conflict. So please don't forget this. It's a very interesting. You can use it in your daily life as well. That how can we resolve what? How can we resolve stakeholders conflict? But it was not included in the pack, but I just decided to do it as well. So these are the way you can resolve stakeholders conflict. Then the last one, which is the word the model. Model is what we call model. No, you can remember this particular model as well during the word. This is what we call Mendeley metrics. Mendeley what? Mendeley metrics. And the idea of Mendeley metrics, which is the same thing I explained during the corporate governance class, is that stakeholders now have different words. We have interest and power. Interest and what? Interest and power. Meaning that you can't certify everybody because there are many. But we have to know the most important one. The most important one. And stakeholders' influence is determined by your word, your power and your word, your interest. Your power and your interest is what determines what stakeholders' influence. Now we have a power and we also have what interest on different axes. We have high and we also have low. If you have a stakeholder that have a high power in terms of what you have money, and you also have high interest, that means that you're what? You're a key player. High power, high interest. You are what? You are a key player. High power, high interest. You are a what? You are a key player. So that means the organization have to do what? They have to attend to you very, very, very well. But if you have a stakeholders that have what? High power in terms of what the money is there, but you are not really interested in what we are doing, maybe due to what you have a portfolio now that is not only in our company that you have what, that you have investment, you also have investment in other organizations. But due to the power that you have, we have to keep you what? We have to keep you certified, keep certified. If you have a stakeholders that have what? High power and what? High interest. We say what? Keep certified. You can remember this. I've talked about this in the corporate governance class. Then we have the stakeholders that have low power, low interest. What we say, minimal what? Minimal effort. Don't stress yourself. Minimal what? Minimal effort. Then the last one, we have what we call what? Stakeholders that have a high interest. In terms of reward, you're highly interested, but you don't have what? The money is not there. What the organization should do is that they should keep you informed. So that if you don't have money today, you can have money tomorrow. So keep informed. If you have a stakeholders that have high power, high interest, low power, keep informed. High power, high interest, key player. Low power, low interest, minimal effort. Don't stress yourself. High power but low interest. You have to keep him You have to keep him certified. Then we also have another one called stakeholders important metrics. Stakeholders important metrics. And this one was developed by Paul Newt. Let me read this so that it's also in It's also in our pack as well. Stakeholders important metrics. Stakeholders assessment was developed by Paul Newt. It's a grid for managing focus group made by stakeholders. Stakeholders are positioned in the metrics according to expected level of support and importance to to issue. In terms of what this particular model is meant for is if management want to make a decision. There are some stakeholders that will do that will support it, and there are some that will not support. But if you want to make your decision to be successful, then those stakeholders that are very, very powerful, they have to do they have to accept it. They have to do they have to accept it. If I want to make a decision now, this one will say this, another one will say that. Now, what this particular model is meant for is different from different from Mendeley, is that this one is for for decision making. So there are some people now that will against it. And this particular, don't worry. After this class now, I will send one diagram again. I will use it to explain it via the voice note to you after the class. because there's a word, we usually give them a scale. Okay, sorry, it's also here. But it's not showing in this diagram. They say what each square on the y-axis is giving a what 1 to 5 rating, which is used to identify the intensity of the what expected opposition or support the decision. In terms of what, please don't forget, what this particular model is meant for is for decision. When manager now is making a certain decision now in organization, there are some words stakeholder that will go against it. There are some that will support it. And you can see, oh, it's not really clear. You can see this arrow here is for what? Is for support. Here is for what? Is for oppose. When you are making a decision as a manager now, there are some people that will support it. There are some that will also go against it as well. So, but before I have to know the word, the one that is even saying that, oh, this decision, we should not go for it. I have to know how important you are in terms of what, how many unit of share do you have in this company that you are even talking that, oh, this decision, oh, maybe for example, now we want to have a new branch now. You're not telling us that we should not do what? You should not open that particular branch. Maybe you attend the AGM, you started talking anyhow. You understand? I have to know what we have to assess you based on your word, based on your importance. And your importance is what? How many you, but in corporate governance, we say that what? We should treat you equally, right? And that's good, yeah. In terms of what, don't forget, one of the concepts in corporate governance is what? Is equality. You have to treat what everybody equal. But there are some times that management will make decisions that are what? Sometimes it's not really objective. There are some that are what? That are subjective in nature. It's just you have to make such decision at time like that. So this particular model is meant for that. When you want to make decision and there are some people that is what? That is going against it. That is when we use what? The stakeholders what? Metrics. Now, and let me now explain. Now, you see that we have what we call what? We have what we call advocate what? Advocate stakeholders. We have what? Antagonistic stakeholders. Or if we did not call it what advocate, is that we call it what? Supporter. You see this advocate. We can call it what? Supporter stakeholders. Don't forget to please note this down. Advocate, or sometimes we call it what? Supporter stakeholders. That means that it is a stakeholders that support a what? That support a decision. You can see this particular axis is for what? Is for support. You can see my arrow now. You see support. That means that this decision and this particular stakeholder what is supported, and it is a very important what? Stakeholders. But this antagonistic stakeholder is the what? Is opposing it, and it have what? It have high power. This particular axis, we usually call it what? This one, let's say from here to here now, to this point, we call it what? -5. And here we call it what? From this point now, you can see from here to here now, we call it what? +5. Don't worry, I'll send you another diagram that you're going to see very well. But let me explain then what we'll leave for today. You see from here now, this advocate stakeholders, or sometimes we call it what? Supporter stakeholder, is in support of the what? Is in support of the decision. And it's a very what? Is a very important what? Stakeholders. But you see these antagonistic what? Stakeholders. Is not in what? Is not in support. And it's also a very what? It's also a very powerful stakeholders. You see this one again, problematic what? Stakeholders. Problematic stakeholder is what? Is opposing it, but it have a low power. It's not really important. We call that particular stakeholder as a what? We call it a problematic what? Stakeholders. In terms of what? Is opposing the decision, and the importance of that stakeholders is also what? Is also -5. In terms of what? It does not really have a what? It does not really have much importance in that organization. So it's opposing it and is of what? Is of low importance. We call that particular stakeholder a what? A problematic what? Stakeholders. Don't forget, let me come again. Is opposing the decision and is a very what? It is less important what? Stakeholder. So we call that stakeholder as a what? A problematic what? Stakeholder. So this particular axis, like this x-axis now, is for what? Is for important. This particular Y now is for what? Is for position on the what? The position on the issue. That issue that we are discussing. What's your position? Are you in support or you are in what? You are opposing it. This part important now. We use a scale of what? -5 to what? We also have what we call what? At this point now, you see this arrow that I'm pointing out. We call it what? This is a 0.0. From here, this is what? -5. After this 0, we have this particular point. We call it what? +5. So a what? A stakeholder that is what? That is less important and is opposing the decision. We call it what? Problematic or stakeholders. But a what? A stakeholders that have what? That is highly important and is also what? Is also opposing the decision. We call that particular stakeholder called what? Antagonistic what? Stakeholders. Then we have someone that is what? That is supporting it is supporting it. It's supporting the decision, but is of low importance. We call it what? Low priority stakeholders. Low priority what? Stakeholders. In terms of what? It is the priority of that stakeholder is low, but is supporting the decision. So for this part, the decision of that manager now, people has to do what? People has to support it. You have to have what? High powerful stakeholders to support that decision before that decision will be what? It will be successful. So management should always try to win the support of the what? The problematic what? Stakeholders. All through their what? Their opposition is relative what? Unimportant. But try in management, we advise management to gain what? Try and persuade these problematic what? Stakeholders. They are what? They have low importance, although they have low import and they are imposing they are what? They are going against the what? The decision. So just try to what? To still lobby with them, patronize them, just to what? Just to support the what? The decision. So please, this is what we call what? Stakeholders what? Stakeholders important what? Metrics. Is divided into two axes. We have the what? The support axis, and we also have the what? The stakeholders what? Important. If a manager is bringing up a what? A decision now, there are some stakeholders that what? That will accept it. There are some that what? That will reject it. So those are very, very what? They are very, very powerful and they are supporting it. We call them what? Supporter stakeholders, or sometimes we call it what? Advocate what? Stakeholder. It's a very powerful stakeholder and it's also supporting the decision that the management is bringing up. Oh, that's fine. We also have another person which is also very, very important stakeholders, but is against him what? Is against the what? Is against the decision. We call it what? Antagonist what? Stakeholders. Then we have someone that have what? A low power in terms of what? Have a low importance and is also what? Opposing the decision. Then we call it what? Problematic what? Stakeholder. Then we have a stakeholder that is not really that important, but is supporting what? Is supporting the decision. That means that we call it what? Low priority what? Stakeholders. So management should always try as much as possible to gain the support of these problematic stakeholders, even though they are what? They are important, but carry everybody along. So that's what we call what? Stakeholders important what? Important metrics. It's also in what? It's also in the part as well, and also the what? The Mendeley what? Mendeley metrics. So please, this is where we are going to stop for what for today. Then please, I want you to please read about what is left here is what? Well, read about this element of what? Element of strategic what? Element of strategic management. Before the next class. And also this particular aspect, also different approach to what? To strategic what? Different approach to strategic management. And I'll also make a brief recap of them when we come in the next class by God grace. So please, this is a task for you now. Read about the approach to what? Strategic what? Strategic management, and read about the level of what? The level of strategic what? Level of strategic management according to what? To Johnson and School. And this is usually very what? Very examinable. Even though, okay, don't worry, I will just make it a what? Go to this particular diet. Go to 2020, what 2020 diet, March/July diet. Then read about the number one, because everything that is here, it has formed what number one before in many times. So go to what, if you can't read this one, the same thing, I want you to go to what? Go to May. I mean, what do they call it? March/July diet of what? The one they conducted in what? In September. Read the what? The number one. The number one is about what? Element of strategic management. So read about that. So, and if you don't want to go to the back, you have the note as well. So read about the element of what? Strategic management and different approach to what? To strategic management. So thank you very much. The level of strategic management is two. We have what we call the position, and we also have the choice and the action. The action sometimes is called what? Implementation. So these are the what? The three elements of what? Strategic management according to DSW: position, choice, and action. Action is also called what? Implementation. So have a look at it. So thank you very much. Let me stop here, please. If there's any question now, we can come up at least. So please, if you have any question, please, you can unmute yourself now. Thank you very much. At least I used more than what. Sorry about that.